Welcome back to another video, guys. We're shooting this on a wonderful Friday, and I'm very grateful to have Savannah on this video with all of us. She is a amazing student that came through the recruiter school, even more of an amazing person that I got to meet. I'm excited to get to know more as the future in our relationship progresses. But I am super excited to kind of share her story. She made a placement, I think it was about $20,000 within 30 days of coming into the program. And the crazy thing is she did that part-time. She has a full-time job. So for everyone saying that they don't have time, they can't do a side hustle, they can't start anything with the full-time job, she is literally proving that wrong. But before we get into all that, Savannah, thank you so much for being on the call.
Of course, Preston. I'm so happy to be here. I can't wait to spill the tea, give some
I
juice.
I know, I know, I know. So can you just share a little bit about like what you did before recruiting? Like what's your backstory?
For sure. So I have a tech background, SaaS background, actually, marketing, communications, PR, all that good stuff. Currently work in development. And as far as recruiting, like I did not have professional recruiting experience. It's always been like a little side hustle for me. Recruiting functions are just it's just stuff that I do like just passionately for peers. I'm always looking at resumes. I'm always making introductions, referrals, putting people onto different jobs. Like that's just stuff that I naturally love to do. So I was never like an actual recruiter. Like I've never been officially a recruiter until recently, very recently.
So what prompted the jump? Like why did you decide, hey, I want to become a recruiter now?
Yeah, for sure. So my husband has been consuming your content for literally forever, and I have him to thank on this. He totally is like supporting me and us, and was like, "Hey, like we should do Preston's recruiter school. Like let's look into it." My husband, he is a recruiter for his full time. He's actually a recruiter, and he was just like, "Hey, like Savannah, we could do this. Like we could go and we can go off on our own. We can definitely do this. We should look into Preston's recruiter school." And so I was like, yeah, let's do it. I looked into all your videos. We started, looking into the courses and reading up on everything. And it fully empowered me to be like, huh, like I could do this. This is stuff that I love doing. Like I could definitely like make this a career. It doesn't even feel like work to me.
That's amazing. Were you ever worried of starting something on the side and did you have any concerns about not having a life or
For sure. So like I've been freelancing a little bit of freelancing, like marketing, all that stuff. But as of late, like these last 2 years, I'd been doing.
Are you struggling with getting responses from clients? Are you an established recruiter who is struggling to break six figures and beyond? Are you looking to start recruiting part-time and you don't know how? Do you feel burned out and stuck spending hours and hours each day in manual tasks like sourcing and outreaching and feeling like you have no time to actually run and grow your business? I am absolutely happy to announce that we have launched our own recruitment, educational, and coaching program to help you on your journey. We made sure that everything I've learned in the past 10 years, the tips, the strategies that really helped me build multiple seven figures of placements on my own desk with some of the best companies in the world will be included in there. We'll also be including things like how you can build an acquisition system that brings in clients every month to your agency hands-free, how you can maximize the probability of a positive close during negotiations, how you can automate and outsource your day-to-day operations so that you don't have to spend hours per day researching or sourcing, how you can figure out the new and modern way to scale your agency that minimizes risk and maximize your upside potential. And we've also included much, much more. The best thing about this is not only will you be getting amazing content, but we will also handhold you and be with you every step of the way to make sure that you are held accountable and you crush your goals. We'll also share with you our own tech stack, tools, and plugins we actually use, plus everything else we know about automation and AI to help you save time, work smarter, and not be a slave to your business. The exciting news is that we've actually rolled this out to a select few people earlier this year, and I'm excited to see them well on the way to multiple six figures, with some breaking $30,000 to $50,000 per month already. So if you're interested to be a successful recruiter that can dominate in any market conditions, make sure you click on the link below to chat with another member of our team, and we're happy to chat with you to see if we can help you out. Make sure you jump on this really quickly. See you on the other side.
not being able to kind of achieve your goals because you're doing something on the side and not doing something full time?
For sure. So like I've been freelancing a little bit of freelancing, like marketing, all that stuff. But as of late, like these last 2 years, I'd been doing freelance recruiting functions, like trying to be official. And it's tough sometimes doing stuff on the side, like, and it maybe not being like your full income. Like it can be a little stressful, but I think for me, it was the empowerment of the course, the information I was getting, and the way that I perceived it was like, oh, we can get ramped up quickly. Like everything will be fine. And it really just gave me the confidence confidence to kind of consume all the content and then dive in.
It's so interesting because I know like with the recruiter school, right? The way that like I thought about it is like I want to put the course and give that to you. That's kind of like my brain, but I'm like the real value comes from like me actually helping you, like being
Right.
on the coaching calls and things like that. But
Yeah.
from your experience coming into it, like how helpful was the course for you? Because everyone thinks that recruiting is easy and everyone can like watch a million YouTube videos or chat GPT and like, oh, this is like kind of just, it's not like a technical field where you don't need to have a master's in it. You don't need to have a technical degree to be a recruiter, but I can see that you can be overwhelmed with all the information out there, right? And I want to make it like really clear from A to Z, like this is the right flow, the right steps. So
Yeah.
did that kind of clarify a lot of the steps for you in terms of like what you need to do and when?
Definitely. Like all of the modules, you have overviews of everything. Like, hey, this is what this module is going to be about. Every single section has like a resource section with templates, list of products to recommend, hot tips, processes, decks, and things like that. If I had to go on my own, I would never have the motivation or even the know-how to go on my own and like go on Google or something and Google each of these processes and tips and things individually. It's all in one place. And that was what's most in a very consumable format. And that's what was most easy for me. Just like you're saying, yes, it's crazy overwhelming. Everyone suggests this, everyone has a referral to this. Like there's absolutely no way that I would have gotten all of this information elsewhere in such an organized way. Like it just, I would on it. I would not have felt anywhere near as confident as I do.
Yeah, it's funny, and I appreciate you sharing. Everyone thinks like recruiting is easy. Everyone thinks because of that, anyone can start their own recruitment agency and go out there and kind of make a lot of money and enjoy the life. But it's not that, right? It's a business, and there's a lot that goes
Yeah.
into it. And we just want to do our best to kind of clarify everything. So, can you walk us through like what does your day to day look like? Because you're still working full time, which is like crazy to me. But I definitely want to also take a brief second to highlight. Like I can see that you put in the work, and recruiting is one of those beautiful things where input is highly correlated to output. What you put in is what you get out, right? And I can't tell you how many people I talk to, like, I can't start a business because I have a full-time job, or I can't do this because I have a full-time job. And I disagree. I'm like, let's be conservative. Everyone has a 5 a.m. to 9. Everyone kind of has a 5 p.m. to 9, right? And of course, you can always stretch that more or less.
Yeah.
And it's up to you on how you want to allocate that time. But what I love about you is like you simply make no excuses. You took what you learned and then you're backing it up with hard work. So like, I guess my question is, do you have any tips for time management, or at the core, what's motivating you? What's your fire, or like, what's helping you kind of push through and just getting it done?
Yeah, for sure. So it's like 9 to 5, right? That's my full time. And then I fully consider this my 5 to 9. Is it always 5 to 9? No. Is it more like maybe 5 to 1 some nights, or maybe 5 to 11? Definitely. As far as my time management, depending on time zones, if I have to take a screening call at like 8, before I start my workday, I might, right? If I need to shoot out some availability during my lunch break, I will, right? But after my workday, I'm all in on my business, whether that's hopping into a screening call immediately or pitching, sending out emails, or scheduling, even scheduling emails to go to hit people's inboxes the next day. Like it's very much just any hour, any free hour that I have, I'm most definitely putting it into my business. And it's been paying, like you're saying, it's a direct correlation that couldn't be more true. You can't just like do a little bit one day and then wait for someone to respond, or, do a little bit of research, take a note, and then like sit around. Like you really do kind of have to constantly be working. And I think it's really key to stay organized, have a to-do list, have the right tools, most of which you show us how to use, so that you can continue that momentum. You really can't lose momentum as you're ramping up.
That's really, really cool. So what would you tell people who have full-time jobs now, who have that dream to want to do something else? Like, what would you say to them?
Yeah, just like be patient with yourself, really think about your goals, think about, the time that you have on your plate. I would say don't go totally crazy, like because you don't want to burn out, right? Like you want to find that balance between, your business and the success of your business. And then of course, whatever full-time commitments that you have. That it is possible to do this. It is possible to do this part-time, right? Like it's possible to, like I was saying, schedule emails, work around your work hours, and kind of have that different mode of business. People will totally understand, like, hey, this is my 5 to 9, is this time good for you? And you'd be surprised. A lot of people, they don't mind talking about, jobs or anything else after hours, or, they were doing nothing on their lunch break anyway. They're happy to hop on the phone with you, or they're happy to have an email convo. So it most definitely can be done. It is not doable. It can be done. You have to have a little bit of a different mindset than someone who has the complete and total full-time freedom.
Yeah. The way I like to look at it is being committed to something full-time is much easier because that's all you can think about consumed all day. But if you have a full-time obligation, it's going to require a little bit more discipline in the beginning to really stay true to that 5 to 9, right?
Yeah.
And of course, if you're in a relationship or you have a family or you have friends in town, or right, some of that can interfere, or you might have to you have to make compromises or concessions, or you just have to make a little bit more of an intentional decision than kind of as if you're working on something full time. So people who are making it happen part time, I had like even more respect because I'm like, that is more difficult, you know? And so all hats off to you. And I just hope you continue to absolutely crush it. Now, let's quickly talk about this. So your first deal, it's not like a $5,000 placement fee. It's not like a $2,000. It's like we're talking almost like $20,000. And so just talk to me real quick. Like, what does that number mean to you? Like,
That's
because
great.
I can tell people can be like, one placement should be about $20,000 to maybe $30,000 in direct placement recruiting conservatively. And for someone like you who just started the journey and now you're about to get a big fat check, like with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers on it within your first 30 days, how do you feel about that?
Preston, it's crazy. Like even just hearing you just like say that, I'm just like, oh yeah, that is happening. Like it's really wild. I think I'm so passionate about this. Like this really does, like recruiting, all this really does fill my cup. Like this does not feel like work to me. I'm so passionate about this that even still, I'm not really thinking about the numbers like that. You know what I mean? I hustle, I grind it. I'm continuing to hustle and grind, and like that will come, like that will hit, and that's so crazy. But I think that probably when the check hits, then I'll be like, oh, this is real life. Like you are living out your dreams, you're living out your passion. This is actually happening. But that number is literally insane, and it's like is replacing other incomes. So that's crazy.
That's so insane. Can you share with the audience, what are you going to do with that first check when it hits?
Oh, for sure. Listen, I was about to pop out my spreadsheet, do some planning. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get in the Google Sheets, but just on a high level, putting aside some for taxes, right? And reinvesting into the business for the great tools, co-working spaces, lots of different, maybe other platforms to test and try and things like that. It's mostly going to be reinvested because our margins are, with the tools that you're getting, we have lots of suggestions for very affordable tools. Like our margins are really, really great. So it's really just pouring back into the business to keep those placements coming, and each one will get easier and easier with the right financial support.
So to talk more about this role, right? It was a sales director role. And like how difficult, how easy was this? Like was the client like experiencing any difficulties filling it themselves? Or like what's the timeline? What's the high level spiel?
Yeah, like high level, the role had been open for multiple years,
Oh
actually.
my God.
And I just kind of like rolled up on the scene, fresh out of the recruiter school. And as far as sourcing, I just kind of like it was very, very, very niche. Like these credentials were absolutely crazy. Like what they needed for this particular candidate, they had to be local to the area. They had to, know certain specific pieces of information. And I just went on LinkedIn and went crazy. I didn't even use like Recruiter Lite specifically. I used good old classic LinkedIn search and hit the streets. I couldn't even tell you how long I spent on it. I don't think it was too long, and was super, super pointed in my search. And when I got this candidate and was prepped and I screened them and I was prepped to present them, in my mind, I knew I was like, this person, like, I think this is the person. Like, I could not feel more confident about this person. And the client moved on them immediately. And from the time that I presented the client to the client getting the first rendition of their offer, it's 5 days.
It went like submission to offer was 5 days. And then when the offer came out, was this kind of like a no-brainer for the candidate, or did they want to negotiate, or like was it just the easy, fast close?
So that's like where some more of this passion and more of the really just like pure intuition comes in, because it wasn't even like a super fast sell per se. It was like I had multiple conversations with the candidate. I was building the relationship. I was talking with them and, making sure they had what they need. I was giving them negotiation tactics. I was giving them, ways to ensure that this offer was exactly what they needed, because I wasn't going to be like, oh, take it, take it, take it. Like I didn't want to be thirsty or anything like that. I wanted to make sure that this was a candidate that would be happy in this role, especially because the role had been open for so long, right? So it actually took a few days of, making sure that everyone was happy with everything that was going on. And the candidate got an insane offer, amazing perks and all that good stuff, just because of the quality of them. And I feel really, really proud to have found them and have a placement of that caliber be my very first placement doing this for real. Like it really is surreal.
That's crazy. The fact that like you did it, you found this person through your LinkedIn search, the speed speed. I mean, like, I think my fastest deal in my career is probably like, and I made a video about this a couple years ago, I think like 7, 8 days, but your 5 day completely beats that. My first deal when I first started, I shared with you, was like 2 months. So I think it was like week 6 or 7. You did it like in 30 days. Insane. So like, what did you do differently than other recruiters? I mean, you said that this position was open for a couple of years. So like, was it a little bit of luck, or like, what did you think you kind of did differently?
Yeah, I think differently. I think it was more of just like a very, very specific search. Like I had all the information. I knew, of course, with the role being open for so long, like there's a reason why it's open for so long. Like there's some specifics here that need to be accounted for. So it was really more of just like, okay, if this isn't the perfect person, I need to find the perfect person. I don't need to find like a person who's like, oh, okay, like, maybe I knew I had to find the perfect person for the role. And it was just a beautiful moment when after screening this particular candidate in my mind and heart, I was like, they're it. And I was so excited
Wow.
to submit them.
Thanks for breaking all my personal records, man. I think you have you're the queen on top now.
Sorry.
That's incredible. And so how do you like the coaching calls, by the way? Because like I
Yeah.
think like it's a wonderful opportunity for you and I to like sit down tactically. And what I love about you specifically is you just make the most of it. Like you just, I'm there to help, honestly. I'm there to help. And if you want to participate and you ask questions, you come up prepared, boom, you get those solved. You're off. You do, you know exactly what to do. You come back with more results, more questions. I mean, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy at this point. Like it just goes and goes and goes. But like I love your energy. I love your questions, the success that you've had already. Like literally, I'm gobsmacked. I cannot comment. It's insane. But yeah, just real quick. Like, I mean, do you enjoy them?
Yeah, I do. I love the recruiter school. I've made so many like new recruiter friends. First of all, just from a network perspective, it's been amazing for a network perspective. After every single call, I have people reaching out like, "Hey, Savannah, let's collaborate on this," or like, "Hey, Savannah, can we talk about this?" Or congratulations. The community even in this facet, because I know you have other communities too. The community in recruiter school community is already invaluable to my career thus far. Like I said, we're making all sorts of new friends. We're have all sorts of new partnerships. Everyone is so supportive, and I love how anyone can just ask literally anything, whether they want to dive deeper on a topic that was in the recruiter school or they want to ask a specific question, screen share their freaking pitch and like get feedback right there. It's so convenient and such an amazing like supplement to the course itself. It's been great. I can't wait for many, many, many more months and weeks of the school.
I love it. I love how collaborative everyone is. And that's what I really want.
Yeah.
All of us just to work together and support each other. Like when someone does a post on LinkedIn, I want all of us to go out there and like it. If when someone gets a placement, right? If someone has a client with tons of roles, like we work together and we get it done. So like to me, it's a lot more than a school. It's like a community, it's a network where like even after this, I can't wait to go and visit you in person. Maybe we'll bring other recruiter school communities and students and we'll just have a great time. Savannah did forget to mention that a portion of the check, is going to be to have a great dinner with Preston and the team. But or we'll say that for your next check. But I know
Yeah,
that
that'll be the next one. I told you I gotta save it for taxes, Preston. Don't get
right,
crazy.
yeah,
Next
yeah.
time. Next
You're being
time.
smart. You're being smart. You're being smart. So I want to ask you, I mean, you're really still very fresh in your journey here, but like, do
Yeah.
you have like, what is one kind of big takeaway or tip that you learned for reaching out to clients? And what's something that you learned on the candidate side?
Yeah, for clients, I'd say be human. Being, you don't have to be like crazy outgoing to make a recruiting career work, but I would say like do your research. You don't have to do any crazy deep dives, but like even just a tidbit of information that you know about your client, the company, the role they may be targeting, anything like that, popping that into your pitch, popping that into your connection request, popping that into your comms will really make a difference. A lot of other people, they're out there, they're just using like templates and copying and pasting and like just doing rinse and repeat and like expecting that to work. These people are getting inundated by lots of recruiters, lots of candidates looking for, direct contact for a job. And just there's so much messaging. You have to stand out. And the only way to stand out is by being an actual human being rather than being a chat GPT or being a template. You have to personalize your comms. Do not like keep it standard. So that's what I would say about client outreach. As far as candidate outreach, be human. I feel like be human just in general for recruiting, that kind of is like the moral of the story, right? As you know, right? Like you got to be human. But
It's such an important point because like we're
yeah.
living in a time right now where like everyone's talking about AI. Oh my God, is it going to replace recruiters? Or like, I don't have to reach out to cancer clients anymore. Softwares will do it.
Yep.
At the core of recruiting, it's people talking to people, people placing people, people selling people, right? Like that's what we do. And with technology, it's so easy to forget that human element, that personal element, that like the best way to develop relationships on any side is that be human, be personable, and treat people the way you want to be treated instead of just throwing stuff at the wall, hoping it sticks. And, like I can save hours using just ChatGPT and doing that. You're not going to see the same results,
No,
right?
definitely not. No, I totally agree with you. And I think it's like be human for both the client side and the candidate side. And then also you just want to make sure that like you're, as far as candidate outreach, you're not just doing the traditional methods. So like, yeah, I use LinkedIn search for this first placement, right? Like I just happen to, I use it from time to time, right? But another thing I do, I will go into job seekers content. The job seeker community as a whole right now is huge, very unfortunately, right? It is very unfortunate. The amount of people that are losing their jobs, the amount of candidates that I've spoken to that have been out of work for insane amounts of time. You look at their resume and you're like, what's going on here, right? Like what's happening? Really, it's a system that needs to be fixed. And so if you position yourself as the person who will help both clients and candidates to make the process smoother, really that will seriously pay off. But a lot of, as far as a non-traditional method that I use, I'm going in job seeker content. I'm looking at the likes, right? I'm looking at the open to work banners. I'm going in the likes. I'm going in the content. I'm looking at the comments. And I have handpicked many MPCs, most placeable candidates, from that alone. A search isn't going to show you everybody, right? Sometimes you need to search posts. And within those posts are the perfect person for your next role. That's the approach that I've been using. So, and that's free, right? That's free to search post on LinkedIn. You don't need LinkedIn Recruiter Lite. You don't need a sourcing platform or anything. Start there, try that approach as far as grabbing the candidates for your roles and just like see how that works out, I think.
I love it. A lot of people just stop at the search filters and you go a level or two deeper. Like, why not?
Like, it's easy to do that. Like, it's like a whole process for me. I'll spend about 10, 15 minutes and I will just pull up the profiles in new tabs, right? And then I will go through each profile, kind of do like a little prelim screening, reach out, send an opportunity. If I don't have anything, maybe I'll refer them to someone else. Like, it's super simple to just do that and be very, very targeted. And that's not to ding LinkedIn. Like, it's just in general. Like, sometimes the search will only show you people based off of the quality of their profile. And like, based on, if they don't have certain keywords that you're searching for, you're not going to see them, but you might see them on that hashtag hiring post. Maybe they're commenting that they're interested in something else.
Perhaps. Yeah. I love how resourceful and creative you are because, everyone can use LinkedIn search, right? But then you also get the same results as anyone else.
Exactly.
So if you make a little bit more effort, your probability of success increases more, right?
Yeah,
and so it's like if everyone's going this way, try to make effort go this way, boom, you can obviously enjoy the fruits of your labor. That's super cool. And so like, when we're also shooting this, it's early December. The world is going to slow down in about 3 weeks from now. But I know you're not slowing down. I keep telling people, like, everyone's like, oh, the world stops. Like, business is still hot. Like, companies are still hiring right now. And people have to understand that. Like, yes, most of the world slows down, probably the major holidays to New Year's, but from now until then, it's still a go. And us recruiters, we're still working around the clock and pushing to see if, we can end the year off stronger. And so you obviously, in 30 days, you have now what you can say confidently a profitable business, which is insane. Most people, every time you read this, you're like, oh, most businesses don't be profitable for the first like 1 to 3 years. Like that's like kind of normal, right? You are profitable after the first month. And not just that, you are like working really, really hard to at least try to do like another placement, maybe or two before New Year's, which would be insane, Savannah.
I'm so excited. I'm really grinding. I'm just like making sure I know, like, hey, my new year is going to start out really great. That first placement money comes through, but I'm putting in more work right now because, of course, with those guarantee periods and everything, it's just going to trickle. My goal is to continue to work so that every single month I'm seeing the return.
And that's the secret of being consistent because what you do in December will yield in January, February, right? What you do in January will yield in February, March. So if you want a consistent year of placements or bringing in clients, bringing candidates, you got to keep working consistently. But again, a lot of it is work, right? But like recruiting isn't easy. A lot of hard work goes into it. But to you, it feels a little bit different than like your normal job because it's like your passion. You really love it. And so is that really the kind of the main difference here? Or like, do you also just enjoy like the mundane sourcing and reaching out to people?
Sourcing? The fact that you just called sourcing mundane, like I just got so offended, Preston. Like I love this. Like this is not work to me. Don, my husband, he's like, Savannah, can you come to bed? Like what? It's time to go sleep. I'm like on my computer. This is not work to me, right? Like this is so much fun. I've always been passionate about this. I was doing it in a freelance capacity and now I can, like I can do it like for real. And it's literally the dream. Like this is exactly, it's what fills my cup. This is what I enjoy doing. So I really do think that probably the difference for me as far as like it's not work to me, right? Like I'm gonna have to find a work-life balance because like I'm working so hard because I love it. But I'm definitely gonna like work on finding that balance and like making sure that I'm making sure that I'm checked out when I need to be checked out. Like I'm locked in.
Yeah, look, in recruiting, what you put in is what you get out. And then like what you put in happens to also just make an impact in your life and others, right? So like the feedback you get is so touching, so moving. And that's why I'm still a recruiter after all these years. And I can see you're gonna crush it for like the rest of your life. It's great to talk about the money, but like have you also heard back from the candidates or clients saying thank you so much? Like how did you feel getting that?
Yes, when my candidate told me that they got their offer, I cried all morning, Preston. All morning I cried. And I have created, I'm actually glad you brought this up because I've created, it's called Sav's Why folder. And what I've been doing is taking screenshots and like putting like, recordings and stuff in there just so I can look back on that, just remind me of my why, like why I'm doing this. Candidates are so grateful and the things they're saying are so sweet. And the client feedback on, like maybe something I said in a pitch where like to me, I don't even necessarily think of it as a pitch. I'm like, I'm just talking to people, right? Like I love talking to people. Like, yeah, it's a pitch. And like, yeah, I would of course love the business, but like these are just like relationships I'm building. So I'm definitely like screenshotting stuff. I'm putting it to the side so I can just kind of scroll back through it like, oh man, yeah, I remember when that happened in my first 30 days. But yeah, no, great question. I bawled my eyes out when my candidate told me how happy they were with working with me and how they accepted their offer. I cried all day. Great
Perhaps it
question.
makes sense for you to buy like a lifetime subscription of Kleenex or tissues for your
That
career because it's going to
crap.
happen a lot, Savannah.
Maybe a subscription, maybe like a quarterly moment. Maybe I should do that. That's
What are you excited about for the future? I mean, you mentioned like perhaps you got a co-working space. I mean, you're making big moves, right? So like you don't have to
yeah.
spill all the beans, but give us a little teaser. Like, what are you excited
A little teaser, more collaboration with other recruiters. I love collaborating with other recruiters. I love pouring into other recruiters. I love when other recruiters pour into me. Networking, lots more networking events in person. I'm very much like a people person. So I'm definitely going to be, like really out there promoting my business, really out there helping candidates, meeting them in person, meeting with clients in person. So just like fully leaning in to my business. That's definitely, going to be something that I'm going to be looking into in the future. I'm just so excited for what's to come.
I'm so excited for you. Like a big part of me just sitting here in awe. I just feel like we somehow helped you unlock like a bigger, better, badder version of me when I first started. Like you are going to be an unstoppable force. And just like, again, money is great and everything, but it's really the impact that you do and the initiatives and the work ethic. I think recruiting aside, what I see from Savannah in just a short amount of time, you can find success in any field. It's not just recruiting. And it's just beautiful that you found recruiting that also checks off the boxes of, the intangibles, your passion about, you're interested about, you really want to help people. Like, I think ultimately that's why people should come into recruiting. I think starting a business and just thinking about the finance stuff is great, but like it just becomes fulfilling when you're doing it because you want to like change people's lives or you want to really help companies or you really genuinely have that heart because that will really come off genuine in your outreach with clients and candidates instead of them thinking, oh, you're just trying to make money off of them. And so at the end of the day, I get it. We all have to make a living and the check you're about to enjoy, Savannah, you completely deserve it, but it's going to be first of many. And I know already, working with Savannah in a lot of different ways with my agency and her agency, I can already see the speed and the quality of talent that you send. It's just like there's no areas for me to critique, honestly, than to just let you do your thing and keep going. But it's been, I think, a highlight for me so far with the recruiter school that I crossed paths, Savannah. And I can't wait to kind of get to know you and Don more. It's also really cool that you guys are going to create like a family business together. Like recruiting is amazing. You can do a solo recruiting career and you can be successful. But if you also have a good friend or a partner or significant other, like it makes an amazing family business too. So I can't also wait to see like how your family unit and you as a couple continue to kind of leverage each other's strengths and to make a successful business.
For sure. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Thanks for kickstarting it.
My pleasure. And now I just kind of want to sit here with some popcorn and just see what you do, Savannah. But real quick, want to give you one more question. So for anyone who's like, should I like become a recruiter? Should I start my own business? Or like just overall thoughts of recruiting as like a business opportunity, side hustle, or even a career, like what would you say to them?
Yeah. So I've been looking at you this whole time because like we're just talking this conversation. I'm gonna look directly into the camera. Don't be scared. Do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can message me on LinkedIn and I will gas you up so that you know that you can do it. If you have even a lick of passion, explore it and hop right in. You got it. You got this.
Magical words with Savannah. I think that's the best way to end this. So Savannah, keep on going. I expect at least one, maybe two more placements this month. You got this. And
the emails, these I'm like trying not to like open my inbox. These are emails coming through. I gotta check first and let's see what's going on.
yeah, no, we got to end this call so I can get you back to work and you can start crushing it. So guys, hope you enjoyed Savannah's video. Please feel free to reach out to her anytime. But Savannah, really, really grateful for you. Really proud of you. And this is only the beginning, I promise you.
Thank you so much, Preston. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.